In a land of sunshine where the palm trees sway, there's a special show to brighten up your day. From rockin' festivals to Broadway dreams, tune in with Bonnie G. It's a desert scene, the desert scene with Bonnie G. Meet the stars and feel the beat. From the Coachella Valley is the place to be, for all the culture, fun, and harmony. The desert scene, yeah, with Bonnie G.
Mutual Broadcasting welcomes you to the Desert Scene, featuring conversations with the people who make culture, art, and entertainment happen in the Coachella Valley. From local theater to live music, art exhibits to cinema and beyond. The Desert Scene is presented by El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City. Now, here is your host, Bonnie G.
And welcome to the Desert Scene. Very happy to have you with us, and happy to welcome back. She's been on a few times before. Carolyn Gross. She's an award-winning speaker, leadership strategist, team rejuvenation. She's got a lot of books out there, and we wanted to talk a little bit today about Christmas stress and post-election stress. How you doing, Carolyn?
Hey, I was thinking we should say when your stress is making you a mess. This is our show today.
Okay, all right. So Carolyn is just everywhere. She's got a lot of books out: Breaking the Cancer Code, Rise Above Chaos, Treatable, Unbeatable, and you're out there helping people all the time deal with stress and getting their lives together and getting rid of chaos. So, what would you tell people? I know a lot of people that. Two things. A lot of people started Christmas early this year. Like they put their trees up in November because they just wanted a little joy and a little happiness because everyone's, kind of down about, many of us were down about the election. So what advice would you give folks? I mean, you're dealing with a double-edged sword here. Christmas, which can be wonderful, but can also be stressful when you book too much, or if you're someone that you've lost someone and you're grieving over a family member that's not there this year. And we're also dealing with post-election stress and people are a little worried about what's going to happen in January. So what would you tell folks?
So firstly, I think it's interesting. When Black Friday sales start the 1st of November, you bet people are getting ready for Christmas a little sooner, right? Mm-hmm. It's like we have, pushed holidays up in so many ways. And the first thing is when you have a lot of energy to get your Christmas stuff, your cards done, you go to the parties and all that, do it and enjoy it. But when that energy starts to dwindle, you got to put a deposit in the crisis reserve account.
Yeah.
You got to say no to something. You know what I mean? You got to look at the calendar. You got to go, wait a minute. Or maybe you need to say yes to a massage or the mineral waters at the Spa Sahi, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, when we've got that guns a-blazing, that's the time to go. But when that starts to shift and you start getting irritated on the highway or with the clerks in the store, I mean, stress is so funny because it's very subtle, but it's surprising. Like you can go from, a 1 stress level to an 8 in a line at the store.
Absolutely. Yes. Very quick.
And you're like, I was so happy to come here today. What happened? I wanted to go get my groceries at Whole Foods, and the next thing you know,
I'm screaming at somebody. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
So that's what.
Go ahead.
So that's the internal. We have internal and we have external chaos. And so, like, when you talk about the election story is different for everybody. But where I always come in is what happens when you're disappointed at the results you're getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it's the results in the election, if it's the results in your family, when you put a lot into, putting on a grand gesture party and then 4 people at the last minute decide they're not coming into town, how do you navigate when things don't go your way? And that's when, it was from the pandemic and post-pandemic that I started teaching people to become chaos ninjas.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what that means. What is it? What does that mean, chaos ninja?
Well, sometimes when things don't go your way enough times in a row, you can sort of start speaking victimese.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
not Vietnamese, Victimese.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute that you hear yourself languaging, like, oh, this and oh, that and oh, that, you have to immediately go, wait a minute, what is the lesson for me? Especially when things happen in threes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the lesson for me? And that's the ninja approach. A ninja sees an obstacle, and it's like, what are you here to teach me? So, post-election depression and stress, what are you here to teach me?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I don't think we've ever needed this lesson more than the last 4 years is we better start living in the moment, because most of the time, if we scroll too much, I remember one time when there was all this stuff with COVID, and the next thing they were like, oh, and a meteor could hit the planet, and we could all be dead. I'm like, well, as if I didn't have enough to worry about. Now I need to look up.
Yeah, worry about meteors, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Now, when you work with people, when you have these kinds of talks with people, do you find that most people sort of get it and can move into that what's the lesson thing kind of, or are people resistant to that?
It's, do you want to enjoy your life? Because there is stress. There is bad news. There are health challenges. There's relationship disappointments. I saw, it was your 3-year anniversary of your tumble. Obviously that wasn't a good day for you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But I bet when you look back, you learned a few things.
Yeah, and actually it was 3 months. Actually, it was only 3 months, but yeah, I'm still learning.
It's only 3 months? Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Longer than that. We scroll, we get so much information in our brain, we can't keep it straight, right?
Yeah.
But when we look back on those unexpected events that we just did not think we ever needed in our lives, to me, the pandemic would have been one of those. How about you? Did you think you needed to be grounded for 2 years in your home?
No, I don't think anyone did. Yeah.
So you've gotta look for, you can grow greater from stress because you're meeting an obstacle. If it's an individual or a circumstance, you're meeting an obstacle. You're having to play nice. We've had to do this all of 24. You've had to play nice with people that you didn't necessarily agree with.
Yeah. Yeah. Carolyn, hold that thought. We're going to take a really quick break on the Desert Scene with Carolyn Gross. We're right back.
Craving a delicious meal that won't break the bank? Look no further than El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City. At El Portal, we pride ourselves on offering family-friendly dining with affordable prices on our authentic Mexican cuisine. Owner Victor Lupercio and his dedicated staff make you feel like part of the family. Whether you choose to dine in, take out, or opt for delivery, you can always count on fresh, mouth-watering dishes that will transport you to the heart of Mexico. Enjoy discounts throughout the week and explore one of the Valley's best selections of tequila to complement your meal. Join us for live entertainment on Friday evenings and consider El Portal for your next special occasion with our catering services. Visit eatelportal.com for more details and discover why El Portal Mexican Restaurant has become a culinary gem in the desert. El Portal, located 1 block south of Ramon on De Palm and Via Olivera.
And we're back on the Desert Scene with Carolyn Gross, award-winning speaker, leadership strategist, chaos buster. One of the things I have found, and I think it takes a number of incidents, a number of crises, if you will, and turning to learning the lesson, and where that becomes, hopefully, every time a crisis comes, it's a little easier, a little faster to do it. And I think you've eventually, hopefully, you find that sort of internal flame that you can hold on to where it never totally goes out. I mean, yeah, you can get buffeted about by life, but you just hold on to that internal thing. And I've kind of found that I'm finally at that place, I think, where, all right, this is bad, this is not good, I'm not happy, but what's the lesson? And I'm not just going to let it freak me out and spin off into oblivion. I mean, is that something that, we strive for, is to eventually get that internal core where you're not, like you're like an oak tree and nothing can totally blow you over?
Can I take it to the next level?
Sure.
First of all, I don't think we become oak trees where nothing can turn us over.
Yeah.
I think what happens is when the crisis or the unexpected news shows up, we demand of it that it teach us a lesson.
Okay.
So when the bad news comes, at whatever capacity, I'm demanding you teach me a lesson. What did I have I not been getting my rest? Have I been doing too much, which is why I rear-ended somebody? Okay, well, there's my lesson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to blame the, traffic on the 15 now. I've got to take ownership.
Yeah.
What's the lesson I need to learn out of this? Mm-hmm. And even though you'll waffle from it, if you can put some thought like that in, that's my thought I put in. But if you can put in some similarity, like you said, what's the lesson I'm going to learn? Mm-hmm. Or just that's the lesson I'm going to learn. You know what I mean? But you're demanding of it. And that way you don't go victimese.
Right.
Because you're still saying I'm in control.
Exactly.
That's why the ninja is always ready for battle. Mm-hmm. They're not looking for battle. But when it shows, they're ready.
Yeah. Let's talk just a little bit about, you've got something coming up, a new online group for women who don't need any coaching, but need some support starting in January. Tell us about that.
Well, when my coaching clients come that do need coaching, they should have hired me 2 years earlier is usually what I'm finding.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people that work 16-hour days and then they can't get out of bed for 3 days. I'm like, there's no balance there.
Yeah.
There's no balance there. So I decided to start like a preventative group so that those fabulous, powerful women who are ruling the world, but no longer, now their schedule is ruling them, meaning they can't function as well. So I decided to do a support group for 3 months. And this way, when you're an ambitious, highly productive, then that way most of your life, everybody comes to you. They're seeking your wisdom. They need your strength and your power. These are the women that I support.
Yeah.
And in this case, I did genderify it because I just thought, it is women that I mostly coach. But I just thought, no, I think I want to just get all of these really awesome women together twice a month, so it's not going to be too much because these people are already so busy, right? They can barely squeeze in, 2 meetings a month. Mm-hmm. But where you can be vulnerable, because vulnerability is now the new place of power.
I love that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's not how we were raised, Bonnie.
I know, but you have to, and you're right. I know so many people go, and it's like a badge of honor to have 16 things booked, every week, rather than take a little time for yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we're doing for 3 months, and it's on my website, Creative Life Solutions, because I've got more than one.com.
Okay.
And then it'll be under the coaching menu, and it says 3-month program for busy women, 2025. So it's there, and it does include one-on-one with me, because then I'm going to really, find out why they're there and help facilitate how we can strengthen them and be, just be there to be sounding boards. Another thing that's great about group work and group coaching, not only the mastermind, but sometimes you don't want to bring up something going on with your in-laws or your spouse, but somebody else in the group has to. So you get answers to questions you didn't even ask.
I love that. I love it. CreativeLifeSolutions.com. All right, Carolyn Gross. So everybody, take a breath. What's the lesson? Clear your calendar. Take some time for yourself, and don't fall into victimese. I love it.
And don't go into the future. It's not here.
Right. Live in the moment. Thank you so much for being here. Happy holidays, and talk to you next time. Really appreciate you being here.
Keep singing and shining, Bonnie, okay?
Okay, thank you. All right, and we'll see the rest of you the next time on The Desert Scene.
The Desert Scene with Bonnie G. Meet the stars and feel the beat. From the Coachella Valley, it's the place to be. For all the culture, fun, and harmony. The Desert Scene, with Bonnie G. The Desert Scene's where you belong with Mutual Broadcasting's Bonnie G. Just sing along. Just sing along.